Well, good morning. We have seen and are still witnessing the devastation of Hurricane Helene, and we must ensure that federal resources are there to not only help the people in that area, but also to predict these storms that become more frequent. And we know climate change, warmer oceans, higher air temperatures, higher sea levels, they're causing more intense destructive storms. I suspect the people of Asheville, North Carolina never thought they'd be hit with a hurricane. Well, climate change is doing it. Agencies like NOAA are the front line. They monitor weather effects, they provide Americans with forecasts, and in the Senate I've worked very hard for NOAA. We passed a bipartisan bill in the Appropriations Committee that includes $1.9 billion for NOAA weather satellites and $102 million above fiscal year 2024 numbers. Inexplicably now, Project 2025, backed by Trump supporters and frankly by Trump himself, would reverse all that progress. Their plan would direct NOAA to limit climate research and forecasting and privatize the National Weather Service, which provides critical data and alerts to the public. In fact, it's the best, I think, National Weather Service. We must protect NOAA's scientific independence, its climate and hurricane research, and ensure it remains freely available to the public. And we must call out the climate deniers who are wrongfully rejecting climate change, refer to it as a hoax, and sell out the big oil. In the deadly aftermath of Hurricane Helene, Donald Trump suggested no one cares about climate change. Just last week he claimed that the climate crisis is, quote, one of the great scams of all time, end quote. Let's be clear. Climate change is real, and we need collective action to address it. We need honest, principled leadership. During his presidency, Donald Trump failed both the preparation and disaster response to hurricanes, storms, and flooding. He often made things worse. For example, he delayed disaster aid for hurricane devastated Puerto Rico, and then showed up later tossing paper towels. In another incident, he got out a Sharpie and tried to alter the hurricane's trajectory to suggest that the state of Alabama would be hit. When the National Weather Service corrected his claim, he threw a fit. The National Weather Service experts were right. Donald Trump was wrong. The storm never hit Alabama. Later, the Commerce Department's internal watchdog called Sharpiegate, as it was known, it needlessly risks safety and undermined public trust in weather. That's exactly what Trump and Project 2025 are threatening to do now through these terrible policies. Project 2025 is itself a dire warning about the second Trump term, which I hope does not happen. It would be a disaster for the American people. Today, in the midst of this hurricane, we see the importance of maintaining NOAA. But the Trump program goes way beyond just NOAA. As chairman of the Armed Services Committee, I am terribly concerned because before Trump left office, he instituted what he called Schedule F, which would give him the authority to dismiss thousands of career civil servants in the Department of Defense. Men and women who have dedicated their lives to serving the nation, serving our troops in the field, doing all they can. They would be replaced by political hacks. President Biden withdrew that Schedule F, but Trump has promised, if elected, he'll put Schedule F back in effect. He will weaken our Defense Department because he does not care, frankly. One other thing that was so startling last week is that he declared all he needs is 1 day of violence. In his words, you know, if you had 1 day, like one real rough, nasty day, to allow law enforcement to ignore the laws and everything else, we'd be fine. The president takes an oath to uphold, protect, and defend the Constitution. Trump has already said he will ignore the Constitution. He will allow violence. He will go after his enemies. He will make a mockery of the Constitution. So we are here today to point out the dangers of his presidency and climate, but it stretches so far.